All
Oh,
right, here we go.
neat.
Test try number 2 for a podcast for Bad Movie Nights. And the movies we're going to talk about is Gotti, Battlefield Earth, Slender Man, and actually a good movie, Love and Monsters.
The
And I
palate
still,
cleanser.
yes, the palate cleanser. I still say that Battlefield Earth was a waste of 2 hours.
It was a long 2 hours, but like 4.
Just
Yeah,
think, we wasted 2 hours. The production team wasted like 2 months.
yeah,
and millions of dollars.
that is true. That is
A
true.
debatable number of millions of dollars, as per the lawsuit that brought the insurance company down, or not the production company down.
That kind of breaks my heart.
They paid Travolta like the majority of the budget.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was like the majority of the actual money that was in the production went to Travolta. Or was it that Travolta spent most of his money on this film? Which way was it?
The budget, like it varies, but he took a haircut on his upfront pay in exchange for box office revenue. So instead of getting 15 million, he only took 10 million, and then he was supposed to get more money when this became the what was it he said, like Star Wars but good, or the Schindler's List
The
of
next
science
Star
fiction,
Wars,
something
but
like
good.
that. Yeah.
I hit on this then.
I
But
can't
yeah,
believe
and then the Schindler's List of science fiction films, like Star Wars but better. But yeah, and then so they reported the actual budget was 44 million, but they claimed 75 million against the investor, and then the investor sued them and sent the company into bankruptcy after 121.7 million in damages was awarded. So the production company completely went under because of this movie. That's how bad it was.
What was the claim for? Why they put it forward?
Fraud, because they said the budget was 44 million, like publicly, but they told the investor it was 75 million. So there's 31 million dollars unaccounted for.
Just missing. Okay.
Yeah, like only like 40%. Yeah.
Is this like the producers kind of scheme where they make all the money by making a flop?
It seems like it, because you watch the movie. There's no way that could have ever been good.
no, I maintain script was bad, acting was bad, set design was decent at best. I say the only good thing about that film was actually the makeup department and costume department, and it's still not worth it.
Yeah.
The only good thing about
Yeah.
it is that we don't have to watch it again.
No.
The lighting director said that this was the smallest budget he's ever received.
Oh God. That is just so sad.
It was
And everything was shot at a Dutch angle.
What were you saying, Chelsea?
Predator with the dreads and everything like that. Just
Oh yeah.
yeah, they had dreads. Forrest Whitaker
But
had
Travolta wanted this to be Predator, apparently.
I,
And he only growled through the movie.
his script was growling and they voice dubbed it. I forgot you said that.
oh God. It's like the worst. Like, I just remember I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, did you like this movie? He's like, he's like, if I can make fun of it, I will like it. And JB saw this on the ship when he was away on a sail, and he didn't like it. And he's like, Why is John Travolta? Like, and he finally realized he's like, oh, this is the Scientology lore. Yeah, this is bad. What does our special guest say, Jeff?
Our special guest, Bolix Troy.
Yeah, Bolix Troy.
Random things like also, where the hell are we? I never knew if we were on Earth, on the ship, in a base in a different state, or on the damn moon. A planet that is made of a gas that can blow up. You're telling me that there's never a fire, not even by accident, not once?
Right. I remember that they blew up the planet at the end.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot that happened.
Wait, was that was Pacific Rim style, wasn't it? Where they like went through a portal and then ended up setting off a bomb on the other side or something like that?
Maybe.
And it's been like over a year now.
But don't compare the movie to Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was actually good.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, did Pacific Rim just take that plot point and put it in a good movie instead of Battlefield Worthless?
Yeah, they probably did, because I've noticed that a couple of times with some bad movies. They take elements that were actually good and then they'll put them into good movies, and it's just like, oh, this is amazing. But then you go back and you're watching it and you're just like, oh, thank God, something good come out of this film.
But you don't forget it happened, though.
No.
You can only be connected to the bad, and then you're like, right, that was not good.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But then the new movie looks much better in comparison.
Exactly. But I still don't understand how Travolta went from Pulp Fiction to this piece of shit in under a decade.
One of them he was in charge of.
You know what? That might explain it.
Yeah. He didn't have anyone telling him no for all his terrible ideas.
Because even though we will be eventually talking about the Nicolas Cage saga, because there is a saga that we had to go through on Netflix, at least we can honestly say his career was a trajectory. Yeah, you know what I mean. Thank you. Yeah. Downhill. It started off at the peak and then it just gradually went down. Travolta was like, I'm at the top, and now I'm gonna fall.
I'm guessing then you didn't watch that clip I sent of his first ever film credit.
I did.
Yeah, so he did not start at the top.
No,
he definitely started where he is now.
Saying it's a bell curve.
Yes, I
don't even know that. I think he just happened to fail in a way that Hollywood was like, you know what, you deserve an award for this. Because I still haven't seen, what was it, Leaving Las Vegas he won the award for?
Yeah.
The Oscar? Yeah, I still haven't seen that, so I don't believe he was good in it. Because I've seen other movies he's been in.
This is true. But you know what? Travolta then did Gotti.
What came first? Battlefield or then Gotti? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because Gotti was supposed
to... That's a couple years ago.
Yeah, Gotti was supposed to be his comeback for like the third or the fourth time. And I maintain the acting wasn't bad. The screenplay was
I will say that one wasn't his fault.
Yes.
It's not your fault, Travolta. But yeah, it was very anticlimactic. For like a biopic, sort of. I was like, this can end.
Yeah, it just felt like a connected series of vignettes on this guy's life. And this guy is a horrible mobster that they're trying to turn into like an anti-hero because his family was on set the whole time.
Yes, I'm glad you pointed that out again. Because I couldn't believe that when we tried this the first time. You told me, and then I looked it up, and then I was like, why would you be okay with the script? The script was terrible. It did not place your father in a positive light at all.
No,
it was not a good, it wasn't a good mob movie. It wasn't a good any kind of category movie.
No.
It could be though that they're like, wow, this does make Dad look great because everything he did was actually much worse than what's in this script.
It's kind of true. And they also brought up the death of their son, which I get it. That is absolutely terrible. It is absolutely horrible for any parent to go through that. But like, it didn't have the devastating effect that I thought it would.
That was like the most interesting part of the movie because I didn't see it coming. I didn't know.
No, I didn't either. Like, I didn't even know he had a child who died.
Yeah, and then they kind of brushed over that like within like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this and I'm completely blanking. He had a child that died.
Yeah, he had a son who was hit by a car.
But then they got revenge against the guy.
Oh.
Didn't they?
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
God, it was like an insurance commercial.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it didn't have like when I find out a character has passed away, like I'll give you another film, like Walk the Line, when Johnny Cash's brother died. I actually teared up a little bit. I teared up in Up, but then again, I don't know a human being that hasn't teared up a little bit through the beginning of that film.
Monsters
Yeah, no, like
That's true.
It's true, but I didn't feel anything. And I hate saying that because I feel very bad for the Gotti family that they lost this little boy, but the film did not do a good job portraying.
I didn't know this one was a character until he died.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
there's no character development for this kid at all. For me to like him, for me to care. And I felt terrible. I'm like, oh my God. I felt more bad for the poor kid who lost his head in Sleepy Hollow. And we didn't even see that scene.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you expect from a movie directed by a member of the supporting cast of Entourage. Like, it's just so bad.
I never watched Entourage, but I'm like, I heard that was good. It was a good HBO series.
I mean, it's about a guy who's famous and he's going around with his like high school buddies that mooch off of him, and his manager's a lunatic. And I mean, if that's your thing, like, it just seemed really vapid.
Mark Wahlberg's life, wasn't it?
Oh fuck, probably. I forgot he was involved in that.
Mark Wahlberg. I produce Entourage.
Mark Wahlberg is the junior member of like the Cage Travolta. Like,
well, I think Donnie Wahlberg, I think he was in Entourage.
Probably.
As a guest?
I mean, he probably did. He was probably a grip or something. He hasn't had much of a career.
Except in The Sixth Sense. It was actually decent at the beginning when he shot Bruce Willis.
Spoilers.
I know. Spoiler alert. Bruce Willis gets shot at the beginning, the very beginning of Sixth Sense, like the first 5 minutes.
I also haven't seen Walk the Line.
Okay. That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
I love Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Oh my God.
That one was also a good movie.
That was a good movie. It really was.
Oh yeah, and his brother Jonah Hill died.
Jonah Hill?
And Bollocks Troy agrees that Walk the Line is good.
Yes.
What?
Jonah Hill was in the Dewey Cox one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the brother that got cut in half. Spoilers.
He must have been a nobody back then, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he had just done
Jonah Hill.
Superbad.
Like, Jonah Hill was very famous for being in movies with very famous people when he himself was not famous. Like, you go back to that period and he was in like 15 comedies a year where he had like one big scene, or he was like in a bunch of scenes. It was like a decade earlier. If you go back and watch like Zoolander, Vince Vaughn played his brother, but nobody knew who Vince Vaughn was back then.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn was good in Lost World, and I maintain to this day, and it is an unpopular opinion, that he was decent as Norman Bates in the remake of Psycho, but the remake of Psycho itself was not good.
That was rough to get through.
That was that the shot for shot one?
Maybe. Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah, because that didn't need to happen. Yeah.
It didn't need
It's
to
like
happen.
how they redid The Omen shot for shot.
Yeah, they did. It didn't need to happen, but that wasn't Vince Vaughn's fault. I maintain he was good. I maintain the script heavily dated, because what worked in 1960 did not work for 1998. They did no updating.
Yeah.
It was literally verbatim. But anyways, what does Troy think about Gotti?
I'll take a look. Let's see now. I barely remember this movie aside from the fact that they chose to film an English movie in cursing. I don't know why you don't just go watch The Irishman. Honestly, I'm sorry if you sat through this. I can't remember much other than the fact that I think there were a ton of characters, which means that you're even less likely to care. I think his son died too. That sucks.
They're terrible
really,
people.
So poorly written and so unbelievably choppy that I cannot piece together a timeline. It was long and it was something.
I feel bad, but yeah, I kind of remember last year when we watched this, Dad had made me a huge bowl of popcorn. I was watching it, drinking wine, and at one point I said, F it, I'm just going to go get the full bottle. And and I did. And
was it red to pair with the pasta?
Yeah.
They had so much pasta. Like, the food looked delicious.
You know what?
Yeah, craft services did a good job.
Yes, they did. Let's give
that wouldn't
credit.
even be craft services, probably.
Exactly.
Because they'd be feeding like the actual actors, like the characters. It's probably just prop food.
I hope not. I hope it was just like surplus, the extra cast. You can munch on this, but then they're like, we need a prop. We'll steal it.
I really hope it was actually the family that made all of the food. And it's
the real Gotti family.
I was literally just about to say that, Bryson. Like, they showed up to the set every day with like a cauldron of pasta. They're like, you have to get through this. Mother won't stop.
Just a casserole dish of, please eat this. There's too much everywhere.
They keep walking up to Travolta and going, eat, you look too thin. You're not full yet.
Clearly, South Park disagrees.
The most out there bit of trivia from this movie, where he's wearing Gotti's actual like clothing and accessories and that, and he could smell Gotti's cologne off of a coat he's wearing.
Yeah, that's gross.
Like there's inhabiting the role, and then there's this.
I agree, but like I have to ask, how long was Gotti dead before Travolta took the role? Because he must have been. He must have been dead for a couple of years.
I thought he died. Yeah, 2002.
Oh Jesus! And they filmed this movie, came out in like what, 2016, 2018?
Something like that. Yeah. So they just kept that clothing forever.
It's 16 years of that blazer sitting in a closet.
Yeah.
They
like the watch and that, I guess. But I don't know what to tell you.
Oh God, that's disturbing. That means that Gotti's skin cells was still on that blazer.
Well, when you put it that way, that's really gross, Anna.
Well, that mean he started his own movie?
Like, why bother casting Travolta? Yeah, why bother casting Travolta when you could have just cloned Gotti?
Honestly, that extra time it would have taken him to grow up would have been great time to work on that script a little bit,
Yeah.
I agree.
workshop it.
But I mean, like, again, it was just like they didn't try to tell a story. They tried to tell a bunch of little stories about this guy. Like, we were all supposed to know who he was.
Well, this is just it. Like when you do a biop film, I kind of want to walk in not knowing a single thing about the person, watch it, and then feel like, oh, I just watched their whole life.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like I had missed like chunks.
Yeah, we walked into that movie. Go ahead, Bryson.
I was just gonna say, it kind of feels like you were watching TV and flipping through the channels, but every channel was a bit of boring part of his life. And you get there like, oh look, the sun died. Oh, quick. Oh look, it's spaghetti.
Yeah.
For one of the most interesting gangsters of our time, supposedly, I feel like I didn't learn shit about this man.
Yeah, we walked into that movie knowing that he was a famous crime boss, and we walked out having learned that his entire life was just a ripoff of Francis Ford Coppola movies.
Pretty much.
We learned he had a son that died, though. We did learn that.
Yes, we did.
And I forgot, and so did Bollocks.
What's the next one? Slenderman?
Slenderman. Said this before, I'll say it again. I boycotted this film because I thought it was too soon to make this film after the stabbing, and it was in poor taste.
It was a bad movie. It physically hurt to watch. It didn't go anywhere.
I would have happily sat down and watched The Bye-Bye Man again, and I hated that movie.
It was rough to get through, too.
But I will watch that one again.
I think this one is the most boring, bland movie we have watched. And other than like 30 seconds at the end of Slenderman going through the woods, which is actually fairly cool, we could have saved ourselves the 85 minutes or whatever this was and have been better off for it. I wasn't even entertaining, though. And Bollock says, was it though? Was it cool? Yeah, that one scene was cool.
I walked into that movie. I cuddled up in bed to that movie thinking, okay, this is salvageable. It was not salvageable. There was not one good part about it. It made no sense. It all started with them watching a YouTube video after the boys watched it, and then they just went nowheres. Like, oh, little Becky's sister, I think it was her sister, disappeared. No one cared that she disappeared.
They cared for 5 minutes until their other cooler friend disappeared, and then they forgot all about her.
Yeah, friends kept disappearing, coming back, and they were like completely scarred for life. And then it's just like, oh, we just expect you to know it's because they had an encounter with Slender Man and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, can you tell me why this Slender Man character, like they had a complete lore on Creepypasta, and I feel like they didn't incorporate any of that into it. Not that I would have wanted them to. You could have made an entirely different horror film by replacing Slender Man, because nothing in the Creepypasta was applied to this movie.
It felt like they took the Creepypasta lore, looked at it, and said, it would take us like probably half an hour to find out who actually wrote the mission to use it. So we're not going to do that. We'll just throw it out the window and then just come up with what we can come up with that we don't have to pay anyone for.
Yeah.
Bollocks really, really hated this movie.
Yes, they did.
Like their commentary for the other movies are like a paragraph and a couple of lines for the two movies combined. But this is like, actually, you know what? I'm going to do a word count. Let's see how much verbiage they put into this.
A lot.
632 words,
Oh.
including "How dare you" and "the audacity," all in caps.
There was a lot of crap in there. It was just not good because, like, it didn't go anywhere. So you didn't care about any of the characters. I myself hoped they all died just so the movie could end faster.
Well, you got your wish.
Did
Spoiler
they all
alert.
die?
What was that?
I can't remember. Did they all die, or did the main chick?
No, I don't even think most of them died.
I think this
Because like Slender Man took the second one, and then she came back and was just quiet.
Oh, maybe. I can't, I'm not gonna lie. I barely remember the ending. I just remember being so
Yeah.
happy when the main girl died, and then she became part of the tree.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did all die, just because the quality of the writing seemed like the writer would just go, and then they all die at the end.
And then nothing happens. Yeah, it was just not good. All the girls had the same personality. They all dressed the same. There was nothing different. One might have been blonde. I don't know. And
I think the first one that disappeared was a redhead.
oh, diversity.
Yeah, exactly.
My people, the redheads are represented.
Yeah. And you're the first one to die because I don't think there's any black people in this movie.
I think there was one.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah.
He did a Zoom call with her.
Oh, was that the one with the Zoom call?
Yeah, I thought she may have been.
Because that was the weirdest thing where he just did like a live call to her of her house, and then the camera just floated into her house and then up to her room, and then she reacted. So bad.
One of her friends was black.
And then I realized it's
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, this is how bad the movie was. We don't even remember the main characters.
the main chick was in a few other not good movies.
Joey King.
Oh, she has a name. Okay.
Yeah, I know who she is. She was in the first Conjuring, which kind of makes me sad because she is a good actress. She just has picked bad movies to be in.
Yeah, her features are very distinct. Like you can pick her out.
Oh, she's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Did we see her in like some other bad horror movie recently?
Yes, and we'll be talking about that in a few weeks. What?
Was it iBoy?
No, it was that one with the Wish Upon.
She's in a
Thank
hospital
you.
or something.
Yeah, Wish Upon. It was like that Chinese music box.
It was the monkey.
Yes.
The
We will
Dybbuk
be
box,
talking
but from
about
China.
that in a future podcast, but no, like Slender Man was just notoriously bad.
Like they had the building blocks to make it creepy. The whole story of Slender Man is eerie, but
Yeah.
they just didn't do anything. Like we got the name. That's all we're gonna use.
I was very happy this movie bombed at the box office. I'm not even gonna lie.
Bollocks adds, there was character development that went absolutely nowhere, and the intense lack of depth and emotion after their friends were murdered by a creepypasta is unbelievable. She went on a date after her friends went missing and probably dead. Sure.
Yeah, she did go on a date after her friends disappeared. Wow.
Yeah.
I hope if I disappear, you guys are like not dating. You're out looking for me for a little bit.
We'll have like a mutual cry date.
Yeah, we probably would do that.
It's called a funeral. A mutual cry date is a
Oh,
funeral.
sorry. So it's we've been in the pandemic so long.
Schedule it in,
But,
put your calendar.
Don't disappear until after June 2nd, because then we'll be able to bring 10 of your closest friends together for the funeral.
It has to be outdoors though, so the weather has to
Yeah.
be nice.
Yeah. It's what you would have wanted.
That's what I want. Bury me on a
Well,
sunny day.
Yeah, we'll bury you at the beach.
Chuck my ashes into the ocean.
Yeah, that's what they did with my uncle.
It's a little dark.
Oh,
but
nice.
okay. What was the last one? Love and Monsters?
Love
Yeah,
and
the good one.
Monsters.
That
So-
was shockingly good.
I believe this was my pick because I was like, we
Yeah.
need a decent movie to cleanse what was bad.
The name makes it sound awful,
Yes, the name sounds
does.
awful.
but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
worth watching. Like, it was enjoyable. It was fun. The graphics were pretty good, actually.
Yeah, the monsters were actually really good.
Well, it was nominated for an
hate it.
Oscar.
Really?
Oh,
I
nice.
hated Blade Runner. And I was like, oh, this guy's in it. I don't know. Like, this guy's kind of useful. I like him. He's relatable. What are they saying? It was zombie but still was unique. Yeah.
Adored the effects.
They adored the effects. And you know what? I agree. I really liked it. I liked the story. I like how it wasn't a simple love story. Yes, lovable characters. I like how it wasn't that simple. I like how at the end, like, it was more of a movie about self-discovery than it was about actual romantic love.
Yes. Like, I truly did not know how the overall ending was going to be. The ending was a little predictable, but it was a fun movie to watch. It kept me entertained. I wanted to know what happened next. It had Merle from The Walking Dead, and he wasn't a douchebag.
Yes, I appreciate
You're
that.
right. It did have Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy in it.
Yes, Mary Poppins.
But it was
And-
there was a little girl too, and I liked her. Like, the entire characters, all of them were like good characters.
Bullocks is saying that it was fresh. JB liked the movie too. He really did. I think it was one of the movies where he wasn't on the verge of falling asleep.
Yeah, I stayed awake for that one. It was it was really funny too. Like, I liked the voiceovers, and it was entertaining. It was worth a laugh. I smiled.
It's nice to watch monsters.
It's funny because even though we only watched this one like a month ago, we've got a lot less to say on it than movies we watched over a year ago because it was actually good.
Well, the thing is, it was enjoyable, and there's like really nothing to critique. It was like, the only thing I will say is the pacing was a little slow, but given the fact of how much detail and effort went into every single monster that came up on screen, and the fact that the dog even had a character, I am very happy to overlook
Was
anything like that.
Boy was like 14 out of 10, would cuddle again. Man's best friend right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Troy
God, 100
saying
out of
something.
1. Yeah, I don't know how to access the chat on here. I'm just on my phone.
Okay,
Can
well,
someone else?
I got it. So the movie.
Okay, thank you.
So this movie did not have a typical trope. Characters were real, and the goal, as Jana said, was not your typical love story, which I think makes this fun little movie timeless. Dog was 100 out of 10.
Like, can they nominate dogs for Best Actor at the Oscars?
I wish they
If
could.
they can't, then I don't care.
Does the dog die? No, he does not, everybody.
No, the dog was awesome. Even JB, who is not the hugest fan of dogs, liked the dog.
I thought he liked dogs. He just didn't like little dogs.
He's hit or miss when it comes to dogs. Like, it depends on the dog. Like, if the dog is like the one
as the owner of a small dog, I do get that.
Yeah. Like, if he sees a dog who's just like, oh, this dog is actually carrying its weight, I approve. I approve.
Don't like those slacker dogs
He doesn't.
sitting around eating kibble.
Yeah, a dog should protect me. No offense to Bryson's dog. My cat could literally crush your dog.
Yeah,
It's-
I was
yeah.
just gonna say, if you want a shit dog like Sophie, then just get a cat.
Just get a
If
rat.
you got a cat, it would be bigger.
But yeah, a dog to protect
Like
me.
my friend's cat is 3 times the size of my dog.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
all
like
love Sophie.
exactly.
How dare you
Well,
bring Moop into this?
well, JB, when he was a kid, like he kind of compares some dogs to his grandfather's dog Spot, which was pretty much JB's guard dog.
Yeah, like that should be a dog. Like protect me.
But then he compares it to the dog that was in his house with his parents with his mom for 15 years. And he's just like, yeah, this isn't a dog, it's a gerbil.
Yeah, and that you had a Julius, you loved him, and he was a real dog.
Julius was come onto my family's property to try to hurt my family, and I will eat you alive, dog. But other than that, if you were friendly with intentions, he loved you.
Yeah, that's a dog.
And that was this dog, and it was awesome.
I love Boy. Yeah, he's
Literally
So
one of the best characters in that film.
he was the
Yeah.
best.
All right, guys, I think I'll wrap this up. So we shall proceed next week with a whole new batch of bad movies and one good one.
We're gonna run out of good ones real fast though.
Then we'll have
By
to
week
make up
3.
something as we go.